it. That means the news is starting. Okay, so many of you recall that the LiveWorkPlay news started online, another pandemic innovation since we couldn't have our live events. So we started delivering news, and I had some amazing co-hosts with me. Couldn't quite figure out how to make that happen today, so you're going to have to listen to me a little bit more. But it's not about me, it's about the content of the LiveWorkPlay news. I just want to explain a bit about that. And then this is how we actually figure it out. So that's the actual algorithm, and that gives us the top 15. Some of you are really processing. I appreciate that. It doesn't work if some of you don't try to figure it out. Okay, so on to the countdown. So we got a top 15 for you. It goes back to everything in December that happened after the festive family gathering. So here we go. So, coming in at number 15, we've got friends everywhere, but especially in New Brunswick. That's true. Our good friends at Inclusion New Brunswick have spread the word about our inclusion workshop, and we ended up hosting an online workshop with a half a dozen community organizations from in and around Fredericton. Congrats to Laura Jen and the LiveWorkPlay employment team for earning a national level reputation. Coming in at 14, this story has an actual Bayview Yards connection because one of the first places visited by Canada's first ever Chief Accessibility Officer, Stephanie Cadieux, was upstairs in the boardroom, right here, where she met with LiveWorkPlay, and we had an amazing conversation as she was just getting started with her new role. Jump ahead to February, and she's published her first ever CAO report in Canadian history. Way to go, Stephanie! Speaking of amazing public servants, coming in at number 13 is none other than David Young, a fabulous inclusive employment success story who was recently recognized by his director for his commitment and passion to his work and his colleagues at the Health Canada Legal Services Unit. Way to go, David! At number 12, we joined in the World Down Syndrome Day and the Stereotypes campaign, starring actor Madison Tevlin. If you have not seen this video, you have to see it. So I'm going to show it to you now. There's some bad language, so if that offends you, you might want to leave right now. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens.
Hey bartender, you assumed that I cannot drink a margarita, so you don't serve me a margarita? I don't drink a margarita. Your assumption becomes reality. And parents, you assume that I cannot live on my own, so you don't encourage me to live on my own, so I don't live on my own. Coach, you assume that I cannot hit harder, so you don't train me to hit harder, so I don't hit harder. And teacher, you assume that I cannot learn Shakespeare, so you don't teach me Shakespeare.
Old MacDonald and a farm.
So I don't learn Shakespeare. E-I-E-I-O. But hey, if all your assumptions become reality, then assume that I can drink a margarita. You serve me a margarita, so I drink a margarita. Assume that I can live on my own, so I live on my own. Assume that I can hit harder, so I hit harder. Assume that I can learn Shakespeare. So, what fools these mortals be? I learned fucking Shakespeare. You assume I can swear, right? Assume that I can do that job. That I can go to parties. That I can have sex. That I can be on stage. Assume that I can. So maybe I will.
Ooh. The only thing I don't like about that video is I didn't get to produce it. So awesome. Okay. Number 11. Every quarterly meeting of our Federal Employment Strategy Group is always popular. We've had 2 of them since our last TLN broadcast, So we averaged up the 2 stories and it came out to number 11. The FESG draws public service leaders and employment specialists from across the country with a tight hour of learning, news, and celebration, led by our dedicated volunteer chair, former Chief Commissioner of the Canadian Human Rights Commission. How about a round of applause for a truly great Canadian, LiveWorkPlay supporter, inclusion champion, Mary Gusella in the red coat. Didn't know I had you back there. I spotted you coming in there. Okay, into the top 10. Here we go. Okay, Janet Balcom was featured in her condominium newsletter. LiveWorkPlay had the opportunity to assist Janet and her family when she moved to her own place more than 10 years ago. And she's also celebrating 10 years of working at Wichita, an amazing sporting goods store just down the road in Westboro. Thank you, Janet, for sharing your life and being such a great neighbor. Sometimes it takes a village, and for number 9, we're talking about Bayview Village. Because Jillian recently celebrated 17 years. How about a round of applause for 17 Coming in at number 8, we are truly privileged here at LiveWorkPlay to have a community that appreciates a good board meeting. Because that's what holds this spot in our countdown. Did it have something to do with our volunteers being featured in the main presentation for the evening? Probably. But let's hear it for our board of directors for engaging so effectively with our community. Coming in at number 7, he was in the top 5 in our last countdown back in December for a social media feature produced by the Ottawa 67s. He's back again. This time it's a radio interview, because the fact is our fans cannot get enough of Assistant Equipment Manager Cooper Gage. Among the highlights of his radio interview was the reveal about all of his awesome team nicknames. I have known Cooper for more than 20 years, and I never heard Coop du jour before. That is just awesome. So let's hear it for our Coop of the day, Cooper Gage. Coming in at number 6, I mentioned in the introductory remarks that we are part of the broader community living movement and also the more than 300 developmental services agencies across the province of Ontario who provide critical supports and services to tens of thousands of people with intellectual disabilities and their families. We've all been innovating and finding efficiencies for decades, with just the very occasional tiny increase to our base budgets, and with recent inflationary pressures really straining our sustainability. We all got together for a pre-budget campaign, and we surpassed our goal of more than 10,000 signatures and dozens of media appearances. While it doesn't seem like we're going to get the 5%, there are rumors something is coming and something is more than nothing. So in this one I say hold your applause until we have the real news. That said, there's some real gems coming up in the top 5.
Wait, there's some breaking news.
Okay, thank you, Julie. Breaking news. Okay, we need to interrupt this broadcast for breaking news from our reporter in the field, David Young, who was in the countdown. David, if you can hear me, go ahead. Oh, he wants me to play the theme music first. Okay, you ready? Okay.
Greetings. I am David Young, and it is my honor to deliver the 2024 LiveWorkPlay Proclamation for World Autism Awareness Day. World Autism Awareness Day was designated as an annual observance by a United Nations General Assembly resolution in 2007 and was celebrated for the first time on April 2nd, 2008. In Canada, an act respecting World Autism Awareness Day was adopted by Parliament in 2012. Back in 2007, The United Nations was responding to the increasing identification and understanding of autism and how an awareness of autism could help families, teachers, doctors, and others to better support autistic persons to live as included and valued members of their communities. In 2024, this annual commemoration still carries the name World Autism Awareness Day, but we know that the current imperative is to go much further than awareness and even beyond acceptance. Along with other local, provincial, national, and international advocates, LiveWorkPlay is an ally in supporting the appreciation of autistic persons and neurodiversity. From employment to the arts, from neighborhoods to workplaces, the world is a much better place when autistic people are fully included in all aspects of community life. To be clear, in Canada and across the world, there is much work to do if we are to reach this goal of appreciation for autistic persons. We still face discrimination, bias, and stigma, and stereotyping about perceived deficits and abilities. The best way to improve the situation is to act by taking deliberate steps to be inclusive as an individual in your workplace and in the public spaces and places where you spend your time. If you would like help identifying these types of opportunities, you are in the right place. Reach out to LiveWorkPlay and consider becoming a volunteer, becoming an inclusive employer, or organizing an inclusion workshop for your workplace or community organization. Thank you for listening. This has been David Young for LiveWorkPlay on World Autism Awareness Day, April 2nd, 2024.
Fantastic, thank you, David. So, into the top 5. Coming in at number 5, it's our international coverage. We do that here at LiveWorkPlay News. Of the election of Mara Galceran in Spain. There might be other elected politicians in the world who are also members of the Down syndrome community, and if so, please let us know about it. But we are 99% sure this has not happened in Canada, and we sure hope to see people with intellectual disabilities represented in the future of Canadian politics. So let's hear it from Mara. Coming in at number 4, we're particularly proud of this one here at LiveWorkPlay News because we put out a bit of a teaser. Everyone thought the story was going to be about Nadine Gaddy, who has been on LiveWorkPlay News many times for her work with Finance Canada. But in fact, it was a different LiveWorkPlay public sector inclusive employment success story starring graphic designer Lindsay Cardarelli. An internal Finance Canada event featured a reveal of new seasonal designs, some of Lindsay's first work product since making the move from the Treasury Board Secretariat. Congratulations to Lindsay. Some cool news at number 3. Our volunteer coordinator, Alex Darling, had forwarded to me what seemed like a strange email explaining that LiveWorkPlay had been investigated for our quality as a voluntary organization, and that with permission, the results will be featured on Best in Ottawa. Since it was called Best in Ottawa, I felt like, okay, the investigative results must have been positive. So we said, by all means, go ahead and publish this. So it was all true. It turns out we came in at number 6, and every other organization on that list is one we know and respect. And so it's all thanks to our amazing volunteers. Thank you so much for helping us build such a robust team of amazing contributors to LiveWorkPlay mission. And congratulations to Alex. If you read the article on Best in Ottawa, you'll see that a key to the ranking is the ease and quality of volunteer onboarding and training. Well done, Alex. This was super close for story 2 and story 1. Story 2 is about Jennifer Harris, who's been involved with LiveWorkPlay for about 25 years. She's done group travel and family travel, but with her brother Tim working as an international teacher, it's not always possible to have other family members to travel with, and Jennifer really wanted to see her brother. So she checked off a huge item on her bucket list, taking a solo trip all the way to Costa Rica and back. Congratulations to Jennifer, as well as for her parents providing chauffeur service and other supports, as Jennifer made her way from the Montreal airport to Costa Rica and back home. Way to go, Jen! Okay, been a very patient audience, but let's have a drum roll for number one. Perfect. Here we are at number one. Any guesses? Shout out. Close. Surprisingly close. Coming in at number one, our festive holiday gathering on December 8th. Yes. Yeah, close. Because, like at a 50-cent concert, there was a raucous crowd and good times. So we also had delicious food. But let's have a shout out also to our community team staff member Chris Floyd for his wonderful photography. I don't know. I guess that's the end. Oh, the outro. So I'll play the outro, and I just want to thank you for your patience. You've been a great audience, and enjoy the open house. Talk to any staff member with any questions, and feel free to explore Bayview Yards. Thanks for coming.